Odds Wolfpack pal Leonardo DiCaprio. I did a little writing on that in a story that was originally for Playboy magazine called Dead Money. You can find that story on my website, www.hollywoodinterrupted.com. But Hillel Heli Namad, whose worth was estimated by Forbes at about $1.75 billion, pleaded guilty in a Manhattan federal court to operating a gambling business and agreed to forfeit $6,427,000 and the Raoul Dufy painting Carnaval à Nice, 1937, worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. Under a plea bargain with prosecutors that saw other charges dropped, Namad faces up to 5 years in prison, rather than the 92 years he previously faced on charges of money laundering, racketeering, conspiracy, and various other crimes. Well, needless to say, this wasn't no little Hollywood Warhol heist. So, I'm off to the side of the front row of the Sotheby's auction taking photos of the Namad art dealer dynasty with Sotheby's security breathing down my neck. Now, these weren't really, big roughneck armed guards. I mean, in fact, the security there appeared in like Dolce & Gabbana suits, and they looked like they just stepped out of a Whit Stillman movie, for God's sakes. And at one point, one dapper guard asked me if I was press. I am, I replied, and kept shooting. Then he straight up told me not to photograph Sotheby's clients, to which I replied, man, the clients are my story. The auction was about over at this point. So I stopped taking pictures, and when the Namad father and son team rose and headed for the exit, I made a beeline right for Heli. Mark Ebner from the Daily Beast. How are you?
Oh, hey, Mark. How are you?
How you doing?
Recording
I'm recording, yeah.
Okay, how are you?
Well, what I want to know is, how does it feel to be off probation? Didn't you get off today?
No comment. No. Turn that off. Turn that off. I want to talk to you about something else.
Okay.
Off.
Okay, we're off.
We're really off?
Yes, I'm shutting it off. Don't you love the way I'm still recording when I say it's off?
It's kind of a common mistake, I think. Really? I think for reporters, from a subject point of view, that's you have to tell me if you're a cop. Are you a cop?
Well, honestly, it didn't.
Are you still recording?
Yeah.
No, it's off.
Yeah, you know what? It didn't matter anyway, because in New York City, you are allowed to record another party with or without their awareness of it. So I'm protected either way. Well, clearly, Heli Namad, I'm trying to describe this guy. He looks like if Corey Feldman fucked himself and crapped out a anal breech birth baby, and it grew up and became an art dealer. That would be Heli Namad. And like I was saying, he clearly wasn't up for being grilled by this pesky crime reporter while he was in the company of family and potential clients or co-conspirators. So we rode the elevator down to the ground floor, and we walked around the corner off York Avenue on Manhattan's Tony East Side for a little chat. The first thing he wanted me to know was that, yes, he was glad he was off probation. And he wanted me to know that he was railroaded by the Southern District of New York for the simple crime of making sports bets with his own money, with some friends. He also took umbrage over his portrayal in the movie based on celebrity poker queen Molly Bloom's book, Molly's Game. Did you see that movie?
I didn't. I heard it was great.
I don't know. I didn't see it. I didn't read the book. I felt like, I'd been all through that world, and frankly, I wasn't really interested in Hollywood's take. But I guess I'll have to check it out, especially if I go forward on this story, wherever this story leads me. Anyway, this slick, slender, designer-suited New York City, quote-unquote, playboy was pissed off about the actor portraying him in the movie being, quote-unquote, super fat. And a scene in which his character showed up at a game with no money, trying to buy his way into the game with a Monet painting. Who does that, he asked me. Well, an idiot does that, was the thought I kept thinking to myself. And about his gambling conviction, let's go to a guy who did time with him up at Otisville. Convicted mortgage fraudster Larry Noodles. This is from Larry Noodles' blog, Dateline, August 31st, 2013. Leonardo DiCaprio is close friends with inmate Heli Namad, a young Jewish playboy, son of a billionaire family in the art business. His family owns one of the largest collection of Picasso paintings in the world. His favorite hobby is to go clubbing with Leonardo and his harem of Victoria's Secret models. Heli got a year of incarceration and ended up doing about 6 months in Otisville for illegal gambling. Heli told everyone in prison that all he did was make a single illegal bet on a Knicks game. But his crime involved more than making one bet on a Knicks game. For whatever reason, many guys try to downplay their crimes. I will never understand why. You won't find too many guilty guys in jail. Well, the bottom line here, in my opinion, is that Heli had one of the best defense attorneys in the world. What was his name? Brofman. This was the guy who just cut a 7-year deal for that Martin Shkreli character, the guy who was, what was he doing? Pharmaceutical BS, taking a life-saving drug and,
jacking up the price 300%.
Yeah, it was like 300% or something.
But what they got him on was the Ponzi scheme and the fraud.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, so this lawyer had a good reputation and got him a sweet deal. And I think most of his time was spent at a work camp up there in Otisville, if I'm not mistaken. And now Heli Namad is no longer owned by the state of New York. But now allegations of higher crimes are in play. In 2016, Swiss prosecutors raided a storage facility in the Geneva Freeport, which is basically a Swiss storage facility for super high-end art. It looks like you're walking into the set of Storage Wars, for God's sakes, except those storage vessels for all this dubious art are air-conditioned, temperature-controlled, a good place to stash a Picasso, if you know what I'm saying. So anyway, they raided that storage facility, the prosecutors in Switzerland, because they were in search of the Amedeo Modigliani painting, Seated Man with a Cane, 1918. which was revealed to belong to Helly's father, longtime art hoarder David Nahmad. And it has been alleged that the painting is one that the Nazis looted during the Second World War. Storing art in the Geneva Freeport raises eyebrows for reasons tax evasive and Russian mob related. It also opens the door to further investigation of the shadowy world that Playboy Helly operates in. There were Russians involved in his gambling ring, and Helly Nahmad himself was accused of hiding $20 million what I was saying is he was accused of hiding that $20 million Nazi looted Modigliani. And I have a huge learning curve when it comes to the art world at this level. But one thing is clear. There are wealthy folks who buy and sell art out of their love for art and the desire for it to be seen. It's like the black hat art world versus the aforementioned white hat art world. And then there are the Nahmads of that world who prefer that their acquisitions be hidden in a Freeport storage facility. And it seems that those with the keys to those facilities are, in large part, the Russian mob. And it can be argued that art dealers like the Picasso-rich Nahmad family cannot exist without coexistence with that very underworld. Do you see where I'm going here? What do you think? I think that Helly Nahmad likes to minimize every crime scene he steps into. He did it with his gambling beef. And of just the very ethics swirling around high-end art acquisitions that can't be seen by the public by years and decades and lifetimes. Helly is quoted by the New York Times saying, "It is a shame. It is like a composer making a piece of music and no one listens to it." Well, to note, the Nahmad art dynasty is reported to have over 4,500 works of art stashed at that very Geneva Freeport, and methinks he doth protest too much. Equally disturbing is Helly Nahmad's long-standing membership in Leonardo DiCaprio's storied Pussy Posse, now rebranded as the Wolf Pack. These guys have wolf tattoos and, punctuated by a little droplet of wolf blood, I guess. This is for real, by the way.
Did they change the name when it came time to get tattoos?
Yeah, exactly.
How about we get a wolf instead? Yeah, Wolf Pack. Let's do the Wolf Pack.
Wait a minute, a pussy tattoo? I am a pussy. Wait, did I say that? No. So they got the Wolf Pack rebrand with a membership roster including Leo, actor Lucas Haas, artist, filmmaker Harmony Korine, and accused rapist magician David Blaine. David Blaine of my recent Daily Beast story, succinctly titled Exclusive, former model accuses David Blaine of rape. A sick joke comes to mind. You have David Blaine saying, "Would you like to see my dick disappear?"